That's a good question. It's a really good question. It's something that I've put out on my literature, that I, as the secretary, get a seat on the board of Unions New South Wales, and I would be advocating strongly to unite with other government employees, the teachers, the nurses, the firefighters, the paramedics, the administration staff, all of them. I believe there's 140,000 members of unions that work for the state government, and New South Wales state government's the biggest employer in the country, and Peritet has no regard for them whatsoever. So I'm very disappointed in the behaviour of Unions New South Wales so far, because the discoordinated strikes, could be all coordinated, maybe into a mass movement, and I think, to Alex's point on the disgraceful New South Wales Public Service wage cap, it was brought in by Michael Costa, I believe, back in about 2005, maybe. I might have to be correct on that, but it was made law by Barry O'Farrell, I think, in 2012, and that law should have been challenged because it's a restraint of trade, and to have a law that dictates how much money you can earn as a cap. What if inflation goes beyond 8%, as it's tipped to at the end of the year, If we've still got a public service cap that's, I believe, now at 3%, unless you give up some of your hard-fought conditions, then that should be challenged in court, I believe. And I'm a bit disappointed that Unions New South Wales has never gone down that path. Obviously, you have to work in with other unions, and maybe there's some difference of opinions or whatever, but I believe it's something that should be challenged in court. And if you beat it, and that's great, because then all workers will benefit. Because if we get let's say hypothetically we get a inflation-based wage outcome, right? That puts the public service in a position where it's better to have a public service job than it is to be in the private sector. So at a time when there's low unemployment, which is we're at 3.5%, I believe now, that pushes the private sector to compete. So they have to lift wages in the private sector. Otherwise, people are going to go for government jobs and leave them short-handed. So I think it's a win for all workers, regardless if they're in a union or not.